Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Caesar. I want to share one more message with all of you before we daven mincha and then go in for our refreshments. It's a story. It's a tale of two arks. A tale of two aronei kodesh. One in the school that I used to work at, and one right behind me. Dan Ostrov is a very talented sculptor. He's known in the Philadelphia area for the unique wood installations that he makes. In fact, he is so well regarded in the Philadelphia community that in 2015, when Pope Francis came to visit Philadelphia, they chose Dan Ostrov to build the sculpture at the Basilica for the Pope. Now, Dan Ostrov was also the art teacher at our school. Dan is an incredibly funny guy, an incredibly talented artist. He's a Jew, but not a religious one. Deeply committed to his craft, to his passion, and to his students. So in 2017, when we were building a new Beit Midrash for our middle school at Kohelet Yeshiva in Philadelphia, we got to the point where we had to decide who was going to make the mechitzot, the dividers, who was going to make the bima, who was going to make the aron kodesh for our Beit Midrash. And we had the idea that, you know what, how powerful would it be for our students if we asked our art teacher to make them? After all, his primary medium was wood. This is what he does. And so we decided, together with the president of the board, we sat down with Dan, we called him to a meeting, and we said, Dan, we have this idea. What do you think about making the furniture for the new synagogue we're creating in our middle school? And Dan looked at us, wanted to make sure we really meant what we said. You could tell he was getting a little bit emotional, and he said, give me a week, and I'll be back with a proposal. A week later, we sit back down in my office, and this time Dan is physically moved. He is close to tears. He hands us the proposal, and he said, I want to tell you what happened the day that you asked me to do this. He said, I went home that night, and I called my grandfather. Dan Ostrov's grandfather at that time was a man of 96 years old. His name is Dietrich Gruen. Look him up. He is a very famous scientist. Dietrich Gruen worked on the Manhattan Project. He then went on to get his PhD at the University of Chicago, moved to Argonne National Laboratories, where he published over 400 articles in peer-reviewed journals and has 60 patents to his name. An incredibly successful man, says Dan. And not a very religious one. But the one thing that my grandfather told me and always reminded me of, said Dan, was that he was forced to flee from his home as a young boy, a teenager, because of the Nazis, and that the shul that he was bar mitzvahed in was destroyed on Kristallnacht and never rebuilt. I called him that night and said, Grandpa, you'll never believe what I was just asked to do. I was asked to build a synagogue. Your grandson is going to build a synagogue. And so Dan, being the artist that he is, came up with the following idea. He built us a beautiful ark. And in the back of the ark, the back panel, he covered with a mirror. And on that mirror, he etched in a copy of the only existing photograph of the synagogue in his grandfather's town that burned down. And so now imagine the effect. Every time a student opened that aron to take out a Torah, what did they see? They saw a Jewish kid in the synagogue that had burned down. Their own reflection in that etched mirror. It was a powerful message of hope. A powerful message that no matter how dark things get, how difficult times get, we rebuild. We come out stronger. We educate. We inspire. We come back. That was the first ark. It's a message of hope. The ark behind me does not have a mirror in the back. But I have to tell you, the first time I saw the inside, I was actually pretty surprised. You don't have to stand up. Quick picture trivia, you only have to stand up when the tours are actually moving. So stay where you are. First time I walked in here and did this. I actually thought there was a mistake. I didn't know that it had been planned to be built this way. You see, I saw on the left-hand side that there was a shelf there meant for a Torah, but it didn't go all the way across. I'm like, oh my gosh, the builders got it wrong. Like, what are we going to do? It's only half built. And I actually went to speak to Mr. Sharp, who's in the back there, and I said to him, like, what is this? And he explained to me, no, actually, this is intentional. It's intentional because it is one of the few aron kodesh that I know of anywhere that is built intentionally to hold both an Ashkenazi Sefer Torah and Sephardic Sefer Torah in the same aron kodesh. Boys and girls, I don't know the degree to which you recognize the power of that statement. We live in a time where our people have been perhaps more divided than we've been in centuries, perhaps even millennia. We live in a time where the world is polarized, where people cannot talk to each other, people cannot get in the same room with each other. We live in a time of tremendous division. And yes, it is true, as you saw in the video just a few minutes ago, the Jewish people feel very united now. But boys and girls, it took Hamas to make that happen. But before October 7th, this aron had been commissioned this way, and you guys were living exactly the way this aron looks, because you come from very different homes. You come from Ashkenazic homes and from Sephardic homes. You come from Latin American homes and North American homes. You come from Israeli homes and English-speaking homes. We come from different levels of observance. We come from different places. And you have formed the most beautiful school community that I have ever seen. Because when you step through this school gates in the morning, it just doesn't matter. And you've managed to create friends, and the parents that are in this room have managed to create a community. And guys and girls, this too is a message of hope. It's a message of hope that we can do this, and that you who are going to be the future leaders of our community and our society can take this idea that we can have a Sefer Torah from Ashkenazi background and a Sephardic background and put it in the same aron kodesh. We can be in the same room. We can be friends with and talk to those who are not like us. You guys are going to take that message from here. You're going to take it out to the world, and you're going to show them a better way. A way that we're desperately in need of. So guys, I hope today you're going to come away from this joyous occasion with both messages. With Giselle's message of pay it forward, as her father showed us, doing for your community and doing for others. And you're going to take the message of our aron, that we can do it together with others. B'yachad, am echad, one nation, one community, one society. Boys and girls, thank you.